guys, I am going to do a changing video. I have not changed these guys in way too long. So I'm going to change, this is my electronic Neonate, and then I've got my RealCares too. I'm going to split it in two videos. I'm going to do my electronic Neonate, my Gen 6 or original RealCare, and then the 2 Plus, and 3 will be separate videos. But like I said, they've not been changed in a long time. I want to say, I don't even know if they've been changed since we moved here. They may have been changed when we moved here. And that was 3 years ago. And honestly, like I've said numerous times, I have been in a huge funk when it comes to my Reborns and like my RealCares. I've been prioritizing my American girls. I think it's because like with the American girls, I can create a house. With them, there's only so much you can do with realism with them. I mean, yeah, you can do outings, but I feel weird going out and doing it by myself. And I have yet to find a group to do this with. So anyways, I'm going to start, like I said, I'm going to start with my, my brain just went, ew. My electronic Neonate. So what they're all going to get put in is back in, I think this was like 2005. Let me check the tag. 2007. Gap came out with this line and I absolutely loved it. It was just like a basic line. It looks like a layered tee, so it's like a onesie that is the navy blue, and then the layered tee look has like long sleeves to make it look like there's a long sleeve under the short sleeve tee, and then it's white and the navy blue stripe, and then like the neckline is the same striped pattern, and then it's got the Gap bear on it with a little pocket. And I have, I think, 2 dresses in this line, and then I have 5 shirts. And I want to say there was one more shirt, and I thought I had it, and it's brown, and I cannot find it. So anyways, I am going to start out, like I said, I'm going to put them in this. I've got 5 dolls, so it worked out. Like I said, I have 5 shirts. I need to see if I can find the brown one. I swear I had the brown one. And when I just went through my drawers, I can't find it. But like I said, I have 5. We have 5. We're good. But anyways, like I said, I've said this a few times. I've been in a funk, and I was just talking to Yvonne, a friend of mine. If you've seen Crystal's original videos from the original meetup, I think she has them on YouTube. When we had our first meetup in Minneapolis in 2007. So that, honestly, I bought a bunch of these when we were on that meetup, ironically. So we were on that meetup, and Yvonne and Keely came. I think they were living in California at that time. But they have since moved, or maybe they lived in Washington State. I fully do not remember where they lived at that time. But I mean, I still keep in touch with most of the people from the meetups that I've had. I just talked with my friend Ashley recently, and this wasn't so much as a doll meetup, but after my kids were born, we were going to Sioux Falls, and Ashley and Tammy drove up from, Ashley's from Missouri, so she drove to Omaha, and then her and Tammy came from Omaha to Sioux Falls, and we had a weekend together, and we had a really good time. And it was a great weekend. It was so much fun. Yes, like I said, it wasn't doll related, but we met because of the dolls. All 3 of us have kids, And we had a really good time together. We were staying at one hotel, and they were staying at a hotel with a water park. So we went over to their hotel and went swimming, and we went to the zoo with them. We had, like I said, we had a lot of fun with them. We went shopping too. So we did have a lot of fun. And like I said, I just spoke with Ashley recently. Unfortunately, I no longer communicate with Tammy, and that is very unfortunate because she's a very sweet person. And I do miss her, but what happened at the end and the fact that she knew she was in the wrong, and just like, not to get into too much detail, on her personal Facebook page, she had posted kind of a problematic post about something that she did not know about. And it's something that affects my life on a daily basis. And so I came in and I was like, well, I'm going to tell you that propaganda like this hurts the community. It hurts people and families like mine, because this is not how this is. Well, some lady who she literally only had known, like, she told me later, oh, I just met her online in this group, and I added her to my Facebook page, or my Facebook friends, about 3 months ago. So me, who has known Tammy for, I think, close to 10 years at that point, versus somebody and I had met her in person like 3 times, and somebody she had never met in person and she's only talked to for 3 months, this lady started attacking me, telling me that I was wrong and I didn't know what I was talking about, yet it was something that affected my life daily. Okay, guys, I want to say his name is Ming, but I'm not 100%. But this is my electronic neonate. He is the Hum electronic neonate. I didn't show the back. I need to do like an updated video on these guys, because I was watching my videos the other day, and in the video, I think I have a G6 talking about an electronic neonate, or I have an electronic neonate. So I need to update those videos. But anyways, back to the story. So he looks cute in it. So back to the story. I was hurt, and I had messaged Tammy. I'm like, who is this lady? She's personally attacking me, telling me what I go through daily is not how it is. And when I asked her what her sources were, all she could her sources were some random vlog, or not vlog, blog, just like some blogs that some crazy person wrote on the internet. And so this one's pink. And when I was sourcing legitimate sources, she tried telling me that my sources were not real sources. And so I literally texted Tammy, because once again, we've been friends for close to 10 years at this point. And I had her phone number to be able to text her. This lady did not. Like I said, Tammy had mentioned, oh, I've never met this lady in person. And so then Tammy comes in and starts defending this lady. And then Tammy starts making excuses for this lady. And instead of defending somebody that you've known for 10 years, somebody that you've met their children, you have seen firsthand their children and how this specific thing affects their life. You choose to defend this other person that you've never met and you've only known for 3 months. And so that's where, I mean, I was deeply hurt. And the thing that really bothered me is, once again, Tammy made excuses for this person, never apologized, didn't remove the post even after I asked her. I'm like, can you please remove this problematic post? You're spreading misinformation. And so I unfortunately had to unfriend Tammy. I've heard from others who remained her friend for a little bit that they ultimately had to unfriend her after a while as well because of some other problematic posts she started making. And that's very unfortunate, but it's very unfortunate. But like I said, I was talking to Yvonne, going back and forth. So like I said, I would talk to Ashley. Unfortunately, I no longer talk to Tammy. So that was I can't remember what we called it. I think it was like Dolly Family Fun Meetup because it was just the 3 of us. There really weren't any dolls involved. Ashley and I switched, like I brought some clothes for her, RealCares, and she brought some clothes for mine. Like we did stuff like that when we met up, but we didn't bring dolls with. My kids were younger at the time, and basically we all had young kids, and it's like we didn't want to deal with dolls. So we had that meetup. So like I said, I talked to Ashley recently, which I was having a nice time talking to her. So that would have been my 3rd meetup. The 2nd meetup was when Crystal, actually we kind of had 4, if I want to count that one. So we've got the one with Tammy and Ashley. We have the one where Heather, Crystal, and I all flew out to Minneapolis and had a Dolly week. That was a lot of fun. And then that's where we met Kylie. And then there was the other meetup where when my husband and I purchased our house after he got back from Iraq, Crystal flew in and we went to Minneapolis for the day, and we got to go have supper with Cece at that point. And as tired as I was from going to the Mall of America and I just wanted to go home, I 1000% do not regret staying later and going to Sonic and meeting Cece for supper. At that point, you could only go to Sonic in Minneapolis and Sioux Falls. Those were the only 2 that we knew of. Like there wasn't one in North Dakota where we lived. So if we wanted to go to Sonic, we had to go to one of those 2 places. And usually when we went to one of those 2 places, we did go to Sonic because my husband grew up with Sonic down south. But I do not regret that because not long after that was when Cece got sick. And then a few years after Cece got sick, she had to move back to Maine, where she ultimately passed away, where a bunch of us have her dolls. I have her Japanese RealCare Neonate. And I want to say that he was hers too. I know she had an electronic Neonate, and I want to say it was him. And then there was the first meetup that was Yvonne, Keely, Cece, Tammy, Crystal, my husband, and I, and that was a blast. And I would love to do another meetup someplace, but like going out and doing things in that group was so much fun. And I have yet to find somebody around here. Like when I was talking to Yvonne, we were talking about that. Just going to show you guys quick. We just had this conversation in one of the doll groups about dolls changing color. I've noticed she's kind of turned like a peachy orange instead of, I don't have another Caucasian around here. But this, and she is in clean, good shape. So I know she was taken care of. but she's also sticky, so I know that she's been stored improperly in the past, like she's been stored in a hot environment. In my personal opinion, they get hot, or when they get hot, they're stored in a hot environment. That seems to turn the vinyl orange and make their vinyl sticky. So I'm gonna have to, when I put her back, I mean, I can wipe off her head with a baby wipe and she'll just become sticky again. So before I put her back, I'm going to have to put a hat on her head, because where they sit, they sometimes touch the wall, and I don't want the paint to stick to her head. So back to the story. I was talking to Yvonne, and we were talking about that, and I had mentioned, I'm like, yeah, I'm in a funk with them because I feel like I can't take them out solely because I feel weird taking them out by myself. Yes, I have my daughter, but she could care less, and when I've taken a doll out with her, it was either when she was way younger and she was all into it herself, or like now that she's older, she's embarrassed. And I goof around and have fun with my kids, but I'm not one that's going to seek out and take a doll out to solely, yeah, because I want to do it myself, but I don't want to solely embarrass her in public. Okay, I've got this to put in her. I'll figure out what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the bow on her for now. But I'm not going to solely seek out to embarrass her in public. Now, if I say, hey, I'm going to take a doll out, you want to come with me? She might say yes, she might say no. But also, like, now that Toys R Us is gone, Babies R Us is gone, Bye Bye Baby is gone, the shopping is limited. I feel like even around here, one of our Once Upon a Child's near us closed. Another one opened, but I've talked about that second one. I've been there twice, and I'm just not super impressed with that Once Upon a Child. Maybe I need to go back up to the one in Waco at some point. Lately, usually I go down towards Round Rock, go south instead of go north. But, so she looks cute. Okay, so for him, I paired him with a pair of jean shorts, and she's just got these jeans with a little flare at the bottom. But I just feel like I'm in a funk with them. Like, even going to Walmart, two of our Walmarts remodeled, and when they remodeled, they seriously shrunk. They shrunk, like, the whole clothing department. Like, I'm looking at this, like, it's weird now because they focus more on, like, a department store display. Like, I don't know if other people, their Walmarts have remodeled and they've gotten this model of a Walmart, but, like, you walk in to the, like, home goods side and men's is right there. Like, when you used to walk in, it used to just be all women's, and right behind women's was men, and behind men's was, like, children's, and then kind of off to the side was baby. And, like, with baby, they also had, like, they had baby against the back wall because the whole back wall was diapers. So that's how ours used to be. Now when you walk in, it's men's, but it feels like there's less clothes crammed into a smaller, and it feels like there's less clothes, but they have it crammed into this small space so they can have, like, these display mannequins throughout the men's section. They also have that in the women's section. But then you walk down the main aisle, and then you can turn, and then you've got men's on the right and women's on the left, and then you walk down this other aisle to get to shoes and kids, which shoes had its own area. But kids now is, okay, so how, once again, going back, you walk back, and then there's this, in the middle, this big display of mannequins. To me, that is wasted space. when I go into Walmart, I'm not looking for a department store like going into Dillard's or JCPenney or a store like that. Like, heck, going into Ross or Marshall's or TJ Maxx. They don't have display mannequins all over because they know people are coming in. I want baby clothes. I'm going to walk back to the baby clothes and start looking through the rack. Not difficult. But, like, compared to, okay, Old Navy. Old Navy is solely a clothing store. But I've even noticed lately going to Old Navy, no, Old Navy isn't full of mannequins anymore. Old Navy actually seems to have gotten rid of more of their mannequins, and they might have like up higher a display of like an outfit, but Nebula, they don't have the mannequins like they used to. Like when I worked at Old Navy, there was mannequins all over. But it's like a lot of other stores are getting rid of their mannequins. Heck, even going to Target, they've always had mannequins, but I've noticed Target has less display mannequins. And it's like Walmart's buying everything everybody else is getting rid of. And they used to have a decent sized baby section. Now, our local Walmart was decent. The two other Walmarts at one point had vastly bigger baby sections than ours did. Now only one in our area does because they remodeled the smaller Walmart. They now remodeled ours, and I'm pretty sure they're going to remodel the other one eventually and do this stupid business model. Like, to me, Walmart, it's dumb. You're Walmart. You're not JCPenney. You're not Dillard's. You're not Nordstrom's. You're not these big high-end department stores. You literally are half grocery store. I buy my underwear where I can buy my produce. I'm not expecting big displays. But I just am in a funk. Like, I walk in and I'm not drawn to go look at the baby clothes because literally, like, the size for these dolls right now, it used to be a few racks of them at least. Now it's like one like folded display on one side's girl, one side's boy, where it used to be one was boy and one was girl, and then they had a bunch of racks in between, and then there's like 2 or 3 racks of hanging clothes. It's just, it doesn't draw me in. Like, I've found myself buying less because to me, it's so depressing. Or, once again, it's like I get inflation. But I can go to Marshall's, Home Goods. Well, Home Goods doesn't sell clothes. Marshall's, Ross, TJ Maxx. I can go to stores like that and buy a whole outfit for what Walmart wants for an outfit. Like, they used to have the Just When You Carter's brand. I've noticed that they're now selling actual Carter's, but they're keeping it at full MSRP for what Carter's sells it for. Or you can go to Carter's themselves and buy the same crap and get a discount, because Carter's usually walk in and it'll be like, this sleeper is marked $28, but it's 50% off. We walk into Walmart, it's just $28. So, Mongolia. So I've noticed that their Granimals have gone up on price. Like, you can go to Target and buy Cat and Jack cheaper than Granimals at this point, and to me, Cat and Jack is a higher quality than Granimals. So I find myself not drawn to it. And, like, in all honesty, even when it comes to baby gear, first of all, I'm limited on space. So all my baby jogger strollers are now in our attic. I had them in our storage shed, but some rats got to them. And now they're stored up in the attic. Well, I can't get to them, so I don't really use them that much. But the only strollers I have access to right now are the Cybex Libel that I can use with my Nuna Light car seat, or I do have that Britax one, which the Britax one is a lot bigger, it does have the bassinet attachment and the car seat. I have all the attachments for that one, and that's in the garage. And that does take up quite a bit of space. I need to clean out my garage again. But, like, honestly, going to looking at baby gear, I don't have the space for it. If I had the space for it, it might be one thing, but I don't have the space for it. And even at that, like, in our rental, I think part of it was, like, I downsized a lot of my baby gear when we were in that rental, because, like, we literally had no space there. Like, obviously I have space here where I'm able to have this whole room for my American girls. I think I would have more space if my mom would just move here and I can get rid of this stupid bed. Then I might get, I have two Mama-Roos. I have the Mama-Roo, the recalled one that you just have to put a kit on, that I don't have the plug-in for it, so honestly I don't know if it works or not. And then I have my daughter's actual Mama-Roo, which is in the garage, I think. And then I have a crib that I could put over there. It's like, so I could display, I think part of it is because these guys get put in the closet, so it's kind of an out of sight, out of mind too thing, where I walk in here, all I see is the stinking bed that I hate and I'd love to get rid of. And then I see the American Girl dolls, as well as, like, the American Girl dolls, I can get a stroller for them and it's small. I can store it somewhere else. But I've been in a funk. I don't, even looking, like, when I've gone through and looked at the baby gear at Walmart or Target, or heck, even going to Dillard's where they have Nuna and UPPAbaby, like some of the higher end brands, I'm just, I don't have the space to display it. As well as the price tag on, once again, I understand inflation, but when I walk into Walmart and the cheap even flow infant car seat that used to be like $40-50 is $100, I can't justify that for a doll right now. And yes, I kind of peruse Facebook Marketplace. That's like how I got that Nuna, was it last year or the year before? Was because I was looking on Facebook Marketplace and it was free and I went and got it. The lady was like, "Can you come get it tonight? I'm being induced in the morning." Sure thing. What time you want me there? And then, like, the Libel stroller, I got that at a thrift store for such a good price. Even the Britax set that I have, I got that at the thrift store for a super price, like a steal of a price. So it's not, I think, like I said, right now I'd feel stupid going out and doing an outing myself with one of the dolls. But if I had somebody around that would, and once again, back to talking to Yvonne, like, Tracy and I had gone out a couple times to do a few outings. But unfortunately, Tracy got sick. And honestly, recently I was trying to check up on her and see how she was doing. I can't find her YouTube channel anymore, and her Facebook account was deactivated. So I honestly don't know how she's doing or what's going on with her, because the last video I saw, she wasn't doing so hot. And she was selling dolls pretty much. I think it was almost like for every 3 dolls she would sell, she might get one. And I don't think she was reborning dolls anymore. I think she was kind of more selling off her own collection. And the last couple of videos were pretty much just her packing up the video, going to its new home. So I honestly don't know how she's doing, because with the last video I told her, I'm like, you got to get well so we can go have fun again. And that was the last I saw of her. And Tracy was the closest. And I know there's got to be dog collectors in my area. It's just, we don't have, well, there's one doll show in Austin that I've been saying years I want to go to. And unfortunately, we usually have something going on the same weekend as that. And I told my husband, I'm like, at some point, what we have going on is not my interest. It's your and the kids' interest. I may just have to split off from you guys and you go do that. And I will go to the doll show by myself, because that is my interest and I want to do that. I want to be able to be with like-minded people like you are here. So I just have, hopefully, usually one's coming up in September, so I hopefully can be able to go to that one and maybe bring one of my Reborns and meet up with some like-minded people and maybe make some friends to be able to do stuff. And I know, like, in Austin, they have a doll society that meets. I've seen blog posts of their meetings and such, and honestly, it feels, most of the people that seem to be in that club or society, they collect antique dolls, which honestly creep me out, or Barbies. And there was like one post within the last year where a lady was talking about her collection, where it was like Barbies, antique dolls, and she showed her newest Reborn, I think it, or no, Silicone. And the picture was clearly a knockoff Reborn kit that some Chinese factory turned into a Silicone and was selling it on Amazon or places like that. And they're posting this, and it's, some people unfortunately don't care. And I'm thinking, because mostly this group is of people who collect antiques or Barbies, they don't understand how knockoffs like that hurt, not help, the doll community, because artists don't want to create the dolls anymore. So anyways, that's enough rambling about that. I've been in a funk. I was doing some stuff in the closet, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to change these guys today. So, and I do hope that for Vlogmas, I can be able to get them changed into Christmas outfits, because when I was looking in the drawer to figure out what to change them into, and I saw these outfits, I'm like, they'd look cute in these. I think I have enough Christmas outfits for all of them. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you all later. Bye.